Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I want to go over the AnimePlay DVD-based game Day of Love. I just want to give some impressions and kind of a review here of this game after I have completed every route in the game, and it's pretty interesting. This is something that I played kind of on the heels of Amusement Park, which you can check out. That's another review of mine. But this is a visual novel style game. I would say more along the lines of a digital comic. Type if you want to get technical about it. But it's a romantic adventure game, and basically it just plays out like a choose your own adventure story. And with some visuals and text here. There is voice acting and music in this. The particular capture software that I'm using to capture this is only capturing my voice. It's not mixing audio and things like that. So just imagine that there is some reasonably competent voice acting and music to this game. It's really quite nice. So yeah, the story premise to this is quite interesting, and it takes place in a very typical fashion here, where it's kind of a school setting, and it's a little hard for me to tell. It almost seems like possibly a university setting. But because it seems like the characters are living in dorms, two people to a dorm, that kind of thing. And also just kind of the way the characters relate to each other. But I don't think that they really went in depth in terms of specifying ages or that type of thing. But this is interesting. What I like about these in particular is that you can play them on a DVD player. So any game system, any DVD player, Blu-ray player, you can just kind of pop this in. It does become a little bit awkward because in order to continue from various spots in the game, it gives you a code. And it's just a 2-digit code. You're pretty much going to have to write that down and then put it back in the next time so that you can start from that point. So those work almost like save points. They're really more of like a checkpoint. But it makes it very easy to make a little diagram of how the story branches in this. Now, one of my criticisms about Amusement Park was that the story was actually quite repetitive, and it didn't really branch in ways that gave you much agency. And one thing I really like about this is that that isn't the case here. The story, when the story branches, it for the most part actually branches, and it'll take you to a completely different ending. You have different characters that you can end up interacting with, and it's pretty simple. The game, I would say my first playthrough of this took me probably about 3 hours, maybe, which I would say is longer than Amusement Park. It may have even been longer than that, maybe 3.5, something like that. It was fairly substantial. And there are a number of characters, sort of heroines, that you can pursue in the game. I guess I'll talk a little bit more about them later. But the main heroine, kind of the main story here, I think is really intriguing to read about. It's Maho has been anticipating her reunion with her hero. However, when they actually reunite, she becomes irritated that the hero, played by you, has completely forgotten about her. How dare you forget about me? Maho, with revenge in mind, poses as her younger brother as she gets closer to the hero. Now, that's a little weird. I don't know. That's just the description on the back of the box. I don't know that she ever... she just poses as a boy. I don't know where they got her younger brother from. But, so it seems like she was a childhood friend of yours. And this is all sort of set up at the beginning of the game here. Where, you kind of bump into this girl at the park. And your main character's Haruki. And, he just doesn't know who this person is, and they seem to really know who you are. And she's so shocked by this. She's just convinced, she's certain that you would know who she was. She's spent all this time thinking about you. It actually winds up that she has lost a bet because of this. She made a bet with someone that you would remember who she was. So she ends up spending the semester at school pretending to be a boy. So it's just a tremendously intriguing premise. I actually thought this was really interesting. and you know, playing through the game, I guess I liked you know, the way that the branching worked. I liked that you know, it felt like you were missing things. You know, that were probably things, you know, other characters that you could interact with. That you didn't get to see on your first playthrough, but I did get to the end of this game, and I guess in stark contrast to Amusement Park, I'm going to keep bringing it up because I've played it recently, and it's in the same kind of series. I got to the end, and it didn't have the feels, you know, it didn't have the emotions that game did for me. I kind of got to the ending, and I was like, oh, that's it, you know. And not to spoil anything, this is just my opinion, but I found the character, the main character, you know, not the one that you play, but this girl Maho. To me, you know, she really came across as vindictive, jealous, you know, dishonest. You know, it really seemed like it would take a particular kind of person to be able to sort of pull off this deception the way that she does, and it's kind of, you know, I don't really want to call it sinister, but it's just kind of spiteful, and I really didn't like that about her character. I don't know that they actually sort of redeemed that, or really made sense of like that romantically to me. So I was intrigued, at least, to, you know, play some more of the roots and kind of see if they played with this concept a little bit more. And unfortunately, they didn't. So that was a bit disappointing. Additionally, I would say the other characters that you can pursue. I liked the number of characters that you had, and you know, it was nice too because they each kind of had their own unique ending and their own, you know, unique personalities. That said, I also didn't really like any of the other characters, though. You have Nanaka Sayagusa, who is she's kind of this clueless girl. She kind of jumps to conclusions and like you know, kind of runs with her own imagination. Kind of, she just sort of sees things the way that she wants to. You know, which again sounds kind of interesting, but I really found her character kind of not that engaging. And additionally, maybe in particular about her route, but I think this also happened in other routes, was that you know, they had the resolution of some of these, a lot of these conflicts was, you know, via violence or coercion and things like that, and that just really, you know, I think didn't really sit well with me. You know, I'm just like, you know, it just seemed like kind of lazy ways to resolve these conflicts, and it was just sort of like this violence, you know, solves all. I just really couldn't get behind it. You know, some of the other characters too, I think maybe their roots were just a little bit shallow, maybe a little repetitive. Not so much though. Not anything like Amusement Park. Probably the character that I liked the most, and I won't, you know, spoil anything, but was probably Yayoi Muto, who's kind of a secondary side character. But I think really she still boils down to being a kind of a trope of the sheltered girl. You guys might remember, if you watch my anime, I watched videos that I, you know, found highly amusing, the episodes with a very sheltered girl in Urusei Yatsura. So, you know, maybe that's just kind of a trope that I enjoy, or you know, or find something appealing about it. But really, you know, most of the characters in this game, I just didn't really like, and I didn't get behind the romance, and I didn't really feel much emotion from it. So I guess, you know, what I would say in closing is, you know, would I recommend this game? I would almost say you could probably skip this one. I certainly wouldn't say, you know, don't play it, because I think it is interesting, and I you know, I enjoyed. I played through the whole game, all of the routes. I think it was more interesting to replay than Amusement Park was. But you know, just for me personally, the way the story went and the characters and everything, you know, I didn't really get behind it that much. I didn't enjoy this a lot. But it was like maybe more from just an intellectual exercise. You know, I did enjoy my time with it, and I did think that it was interesting to go through. You know, additionally, one of the reasons why I think I play these games too is just to get me thinking about stuff sometimes. You know, you know, again, maybe as an intellectual exercise, they're interesting, and you know, and this did do that for me. You know, I did like, you know, just reflect a little bit on some things because of it. So, you know, so it kind of fulfilled its role in that respect. But anyway, you know, Day of Love, I would say it was all right. You know, I definitely I liked the branching of the story. It actually had deeper. Some of the branches were deeper. You might have had to make like 5 choices to get to them, but it did have. You know, once I had gone down a number of the branches, there were extra branches that I thought might, you know, lead to other interesting endings. But there were a number of choices that actually just looped back to choice segments that you'd already completed before. So that was a little disappointing too. But definitely more, you know, I would say more to this in terms of the way that the story progresses than Amusement Park. But Amusement Park really had more emotion for me. I think I was able to, even, you know, if some of the characters, or maybe all the characters were really tropey, I was able to get behind them more. So anyway, those are my impressions of Day of Love. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope you will join me again for more video game and anime related videos. Thanks so much for watching.